came like a king and left like a legend.
Zero people.
That's one of the most stupid questions.
Zero people.
I play all my season. Was shit.
Hola, listeners. Welcome to Iberian Thursdays at the Worst Football Podcast. We're going to discuss what happened so far in Spain this season, who are the tops and who are the flops. Also, we're going to take a look at the Portuguese corner and understand why Sporting is up on the table and if they can hang on to it or not. Please don't destroy my dreams. This and much more in today's Iberian Thursdays. Hello, listeners, and welcome back to Iberian Thursdays. So yeah, Christmas has come and gone, and now so we have some changes, mostly in the Spanish league, whilst the Portuguese league remains stable. They played during Christmas weekend, but we're still mid-journey. So let's kick it off in Spain next weekend, or midweek actually. There are a couple of interesting games. We have to highlight definitely Sevilla and Villarreal. That's an interesting game from both teams. Sitting Villarreal in fourth with Unai Emery at the helm and Sevilla in sixth. It could be a very interesting game since Barcelona is between them, which could result in the Blaugrana benefiting immensely through this game. And then we also have some other interesting games, which are Atletico with Getafe. Could be an interesting one, but the biggest highlight has to go to Thursday, which we have the Basque derby of Athletic Bilbao against Real Sociedad. Atletico sitting in 10th, having a campaign in line with their expectation, but they could be a bit higher. But Real Sociedad still sitting in third, holding on due to their advantage in terms of games played. Again, they're still the team with the most games. So, guys, Ste and Marco, how crazy is the Spanish league? I mean, can't they get the whole thing about the number of games in order?
No. It's
chaotic.
It's extremely chaotic. It's worse than some of the older, let's say, early century season in Premier League, when at the end, somewhere in March, with the old FA Cup and end of the other local competition altogether with Europe, you do have this kind of phenomenon. But this early in the season is quite absurd, and I think that's only going to get worse with Copa del Rey continuing. And again, as mentioned, some of these teams going ahead in the European competition. We actually have a very strong presence of Spanish team this very year, both in Champions League and Europa League. So I think this is just going to get worse and worse. We still have teams such as Sevilla because of these very fact that which mentioned. So the role that they had to play in Champions League, sitting at 13 points, others sitting at 16. It's very hard to read the situation, and I think let's say the key for reading the whole league, what we should look at is form. We do have certain teams, namely the teams in Madrid, so Atletico and Real, being quite strong. We finally have Barcelona that seems revitalized over the past 4 games, 10 points, which is, well, still not exciting result for Barcelona, as you expect them to win every single game, but nonetheless a good state of form. And we do have Celta Vigo that is actually going in a very strong strike with basically 4 games won out of the last 5. On the other hand, we have Sociedad 2 points out of 5 games. We have Villarreal, who only won 1 out of the last 5. So there's a lot of movements. I think in 1-2 month time, we really start seeing things settling down. Right now, it's too early, and as you mentioned, it's extremely hard because you look at the Real Sociedad, you look at third, they're having a great season. Actually, they have a very strong start of the season, but they're having an awful moment of form right now.
Yeah, what strikes me the most about the current ranking is that it is very, very difficult to read. And by that I mean that even the players of the actual teams must not be having an easy time trying to see actually how well their current team is doing. Let me elaborate on this. So if you play in a team and you look at the ladder, of course you know your current position, whether you're doing just fine, you could improve, you should improve, or you're doing just too bad. But right now, with all this confusion and matches simply not happening or being postponed, it's harder even for players to assess their current state of form. And we can't pretend and act as if this will not have an impact on the season, because I think that it will. And Real Sociedad might be experiencing right now one of those types of confusion. You still see yourself third, and yet you didn't win a match for 5 or 6 matches. So yeah, this is just bad in my opinion. Unfortunately, we all know the reasons why this is happening, but this will be a very weird season for the Spanish league.
Yeah, and in turns, I mean, sorry to go back on the Barcelona thing. Barcelona has to be the flop of the season so far. I know we're now saying they're sitting 5th and with the 3 wins out of the last 4 games with 1 draw. But if we look further, those winning against Real Sociedad, it's a team who hasn't won a game since the 22nd of November. So it's over a month now that they haven't won a game of football. And the games that Barcelona has won, it's a bit, it's like not the ones you're shocked about.
It's not
they beat Levante.
It's not convincing.
And they beat Levante 1-0. Okay, they won 3-0 against Real Valladolid, and they beat Real Sociedad with the draw with Valencia in the middle. Valladolid is sitting third last.
Precisely. We're talking about one of the worst performing team of the whole season and one of the worst performing team, if not the worst, of the last month. So I would be surprised were they not to win these 2 games.
So I think they're still the flop of the season. I think it's just clear on that side.
Do you think it's mental, or is it about something else? Because of course we know how Barcelona started this season, right? And with the whole messy situation with Luis Suarez leaving because of the president, then we had the whole voting against the president happening. So everything around the team itself, it's not stable. Is this the only key? Is this the only factor? Is it something else?
It's a good question. I mean, also we need to take into account that Messi as the most important player of this team is also not performing at the same rate. We need to be conscious of that, because how long did it take him to score without being from a penalty? I mean, he has 7 goals scored in La Liga, but I would assume most of them were from penalty spot, because I remembered we even cheered when he stopped scoring when he scored the first goal from open play. It's just, when Messi is not working, the team lost a lot of players. They have a lot of youngsters coming in, like Pedri and Araujo. It's just not the same, right?
Also, when who in my opinion is your strongest young player, already yes, Ansu Fati, getting his knee destroyed, that's also yet another straw on the camel's back, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. This looks like it will be a year of transition for Barcelona, but the point is, transition into what? Because they will basically have to rebuild the team, so it won't be easy at all.
Yeah, definitely. And what about in terms of positive highlights from this La Liga season? Who do you see so far in terms of a big highlight? Is it Sociedad and Villarreal, or should we actually aim for Atletico? I mean, it's quite impressive. I know that they're not surprising to be first, but they're first, still 2 games behind Real Madrid, who are on level in points with them. It's a strong season, right, for Atletico?
32 points out of 39 they could have gotten, which means only losing 7 points. I think it's an absurd form that Atletico is showing. And to be honest, I see only strong signals that this will continue. This might be the second league that Atletico manages to steal from the big two. Has confirmed over the past 10 years, I would say, to be the third team in La Liga, and is confirming it. For me, it's definitely the highlight. I would also like to shout out Celta Vigo, do a shout out for them. I wasn't seeing, they didn't have a very strong transfer market in the very beginning. They were struggling given how they finished, basically, or they were expected to struggle given how they finished last year's. And currently they are 8th with a very strong form, recent strong form. And I think we should name them definitely in the ups, at the very least for me. I was expecting them to be much lower than the position they're having right now.
Do you want to know, guys, if I could use one single word, how I would describe Atletico Madrid's season so far?
Yeah.
It
Thomas?
would be bravo. Bravo. And not just because of the excellent season, but also because of its striker, Suarez, who, as you know, is a top-level Italian speaker. So, yeah, definitely bravo for them.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm with Marco on the whole idea of Celta Vigo, actually, and we need to highlight their manager, Eduardo Code. He came in from Internacional Porto Alegre from Brazil on the 12th of November, and since then the team has increased a lot. He's been now a manager for all of 7 matches. And it's been, well, they had a loss but he was still not on the bench against Sevilla 4-2. But then they had 6 wins in a row, and now their draw against Getafe on the 23rd of December. So this Argentinian manager comes quite interesting, having a boost on their performance. So I'm quite interested to see what Celta is up to in the next 1 or 2 months.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, and finishing off with our Portuguese corner, quick highlights in terms of the Portuguese league. The team so far that we would highlight positively would have to be, and without bias on the side, would have to be Sporting. There are no other, so to say, like shocks in that way, teams that are overperforming to the expectation, like you have in Italy, like a Sassuolo or a Hellas. We don't have that in Portugal, nor do we have someone who would be an Europa League candidate pushing into a Champions League place. We also don't have that, which you have in Spain with Villarreal and Real Sociedad. So quite stable on that front. Sporting is going to close the year in first because they played this weekend in Portugal, unlike Italy and Spain. They won last night 2-1 against Belenenses SAD, which now is the official name because we can't call them Belenenses anymore because, well, their sports society is the owner and the club is relinquished in the district, in the lower divisions of the district of Lisbon. It's a whole new program in itself of ownership in football. But yeah, Sporting going in strong, clear highlight to Pedro Gonçalves. Can they keep it up, Marco, or do you think it's it was good to be Christmas champion, but they won't have what it takes to be summer champion?
I don't want to destroy your dreams. But this reminds me a lot of Lazio season last year.
No. But this is good because if Marco says that it will not last, then it most definitely will. So this is good for you, Alex.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
I think the key difference here is that we're having Sporting that doesn't have any European competition. So despite the shorter bench, at the very least in terms of quality, compared to a team such as Benfica, they have a higher chance to keep this form up. But it's a lot about mindset. When you start getting 2-3 games where you don't win, that's gonna destroy the machine. And for Lazio last year, everything got destroyed because of Corona. Basically, when we stopped playing for 3 months. Before I had that, the state of form was amazing. I hope nothing like that will happen to Sporting. And at that point, yes, they do have a chance. Of course, we still need to think that despite their being first, they're the underdog. In every single, at the very least of the big three, they were expected to finish third at the beginning of the season. And that still stands. Even if certain players turned out being better than we were expecting, I don't think that their 11, or I should say their 15, top 15 players is any better than Benfica's on Porto's on paper. They're just on better form. And keeping up the form is hard, but they can do it.
Very well, very well. Yeah, I mean, if I were to highlight a smaller team, would probably be Santa Clara from the Azores, the beautiful islands in the middle of the Atlantic. But they're going to struggle. They're going to struggle because Thiago Santana, their main striker, and it shows the frailties of Portuguese teams in the transfer market, has just been sold to insert random name of a Japanese team for 2 million euros. So he's the second best scorer in the championship, and he was sold for 2 million at 27 years old. So well, it's a bit sad actually for them, but that's life. So yeah, that was it from the Iberian Peninsula this week. But at the very last, we still need to add
meme section of the day.
Yes, guys, welcome to the meme of the week section, and crouching into other people's territory here. But this meme of the week is brought to you by Zlatan. Yeah, sorry about that one, Ste. But he's just everywhere at the time. And,
exactly.
So not only him, also his specimens are everywhere. So he came forward in an interview last week. And apparently he had to admit to have 27 children. It's absurd.
Whoa.
I mean, honestly, those kind of players, they have it all, right?
I think he just wanted to ensure that he can create a Zlatan Ibrahimovic football club in the future and have only his kids play there.
Only Zlatan.
Well, it's possible. It's possible. I mean, but the cool thing about him is he already gave his kids all the Christmas presents. So both the 2 kids he has in Sweden and also the 25 he has in Italy. So his teammates are his kids, to specify, and he already had given them PlayStation 5, if you recall, a couple of weeks in advance. So, I mean, talk about a good dad. When was the last time your dad gave you a PlayStation?
Yeah. Excellent player and excellent dad, it seems.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, this was our meme of the week. Thank you so much for being there.